Hi, I'm Amy from Retail NZ and welcome to How To Retail Building Resilience Edition. We're here at Devonport Chocolates, an iconic retailer, to talk to Sarah about how the business continuity plan helped them get through the Auckland flooding and how they've updated it to ensure they have resilience for future events. Hi Sarah, and thanks for having us here at Devonport Chocolates. Obviously there's been a couple of recent events that have clearly challenged retailers' ability to trade. The anniversary weekend flooding to the cyclone. Tell me about the impact that had on Devonport Chocolates and your ability to operate.
It was a pretty tough time, I think, for Devonport Chocolates and lots of people in New Zealand. When we heard that the cyclone was coming and we were preparing for it, it really took us back to that COVID nervousness. So for us, we were looking at our teams and speaking to our teams. We knew that we potentially would have to close a store, which did eventuate. So we had one of our stores closed, and that was really about ensuring that our staff were safe. And in our Devonport store, which was the store that we remained open, we had the water, we had our team watching the water rise up and rise up and rise up, and thank goodness we didn't have to close it. But what it did mean for us is we had real disruption through that weekend. We had real lack of clarity about should we open or should we not from weather forecasts, etc. So we really had to reflect back on our BCP and put that in action so that we could go forward and make sure that we could still supply quality, beautiful chocolate for our customers.
And for a retail business, your team and the community you operate in is critical. How did they respond to the emergency you faced and what were their impacts?
So for our team and our community, I think what we saw is some nervousness about, am I going to be safe? So we as a business made sure that we communicated really clearly to our teams about the safety options and health and safety options that they had. And we also gave them personal choice. So you are welcome to come into work if you feel like you are safe and well and can do that. But if you don't want to, that is fine too. So that's a decision that we made as a business, that they were the priority when making these decisions. For our community, we really wanted to open the doors because especially in our Devonport community where we've been here for 30 years, we wanted to ensure that they had a place to come to get something warm and delicious if they wanted to do that. So for our teams, we saw some effect and some of them didn't feel comfortable coming to work because they did feel unsafe. We had some of our staff that had their own flooding that they had to deal with. So we worked with them as well to make sure that they were fine and again gave them the choice. If you need to stay home and deal with home, you do that. Otherwise, you're very welcome to be in at work with us.
Taking the Auckland flooding as an example, did you have a business continuity plan in place?
We did. I think what we learned after COVID is that life is very fluid at the moment and that change occurs and that you have to adjust quickly. What we know as a business, that when we have some structure in place that says to our team, this is who you communicate to and with, these are the decisions that we potentially will make, this is the person that's going to make that decision, then there's really good clarity for the team. And then they can make the decision of their own personal health, safety and well-being. So we did have a BCP in place. All our team are aware of it, so they know who to contact or who's going to contact them. Where they also know that if we don't hear from them or the right person doesn't hear from them, that we're worried about that and we're going to try and find them and find out what's going on.
And how did your plan help you navigate the Auckland flooding and the crisis?
Well, it allowed us to take a bit of a deep breath. So what it meant for us is when we woke up and went, it's terrible, we didn't panic. And I think that's what's really important about having a plan, is it gives you some security in knowing that you have things in place that you can do to be successful, knowing that there'll be a plan and then there'll be other things that happen. So you have to have some flexibility. So I think for us, our BCP plan gave us confidence that we could take the action that we needed to take and that people were expecting us to take this action and knew what to expect from us. So we were very quickly on phones, with emails, communicating about how the day was going to go. We were ensuring that everyone was safe and well. We were ensuring that we had power, for example. Without that, there's not much chocolate making happening, but we can still sell chocolate, so that was fine too. So it was levels within our business have slightly different BCP plans because they're reliant on slightly different things.
What aspects of your business continuity plan proved to be the most effective to enable you to operate in a crisis?
I think there are a couple of things. I think firstly it is that well-being of your people and that check-in. So we knew in the morning that we checked in with everybody, we knew they were safe, and we also knew where they were with their confidence about being able to come to work. So we had that in place. So I think the communication piece is absolutely vital. Technology is very important because as much as I've talked about our teams, we also had our suppliers and we also had our customers to consider. So the technology for us, we had power so we could do Wi-Fi and email, etc. So we could communicate with our couriers, with our suppliers and with our customers to say either yes, we are open or no, we're not open, or are you going to be able to deliver what we need or not? When's that going to occur? So I think the two big ones for us would have been communication and the wellness of our staff. We had that process really clearly in place. And the second one was having technology that enabled us to communicate to everybody and ensure that we could continue as a business.
How did your employees and customers react to your use of business continuity plan? And did you receive any feedback or any concerns or appreciation?
Yeah, well, we had a lot of appreciation from our customers because we were open. And our Devonport, particularly our Devonport shop, is a real community hub. So we had people coming in throughout the day going, thank goodness you're open. I just really needed to have a little chocolate treat to get me through. And we're like, yay, we are. So that was really wonderful. So we really are a hub in that way. I think for our staff, as I said before, it took the panic out. They were very clear about what was going to happen. They knew that they are our priority and they knew that we would make good decisions on their behalf to make sure they were safe. So I think those are the two main ways we went forward.
And what have you changed or incorporated into your business post-Auckland flooding to ensure your business is prepared for any future events?
Yeah, we had a long conversation afterwards, actually, because I think we did still continue to learn every time there's a situation that occurs. I think for us, some very functional things, we got a generator because we thought, actually, if our power goes down, that's it. So that's something that we've chosen to invest in. We also talked to our staff about our communication style through that. And what was really interesting is we had quite a softy approach because we want to make sure they're well and safe. And what they wanted is a more direct approach. They wanted to know where they needed to be and when. We have a wonderful team that are just really keen to work and do a wonderful job. So what they wanted to know is, are we working? Are we not? When do we need to be there? We also got some nice feedback from the staff because we staggered when people arrived. We did that because we knew some people were going to find it more difficult to get in. Some people just needed a bit of time to get themselves together, feel comfortable. So we allowed them to choose when they would come in and when was a safe time. We also shut early because we have a lot of people that live over the other side and the harbour bridge was closing or not closing and the ferries were going and not going. So we all carpooled together, which was a fantastic way of ensuring that A, they got home, but B, they felt confident that they were going to be able to get home. So we've had all sorts of feedback and we learned from that. And I think we know that the next time we have something like this, we need to choose a provider of information because that was the other thing that was really challenging. The best information we were getting was from Instagram or from somewhere that you could see live videos. So we've talked about what were the key places that we're going to go to that's going to be our source of the truth, that then allows our BCP to jump into action, that then allows our staff to be clear about what's going on.
What other benefits have you found by having a business continuity plan in place has for your business?
Look, I think there's, not only does it keep our business safe and running, but I think there is a real commercial benefit to it. We know that we can run our business in whatever situation that we come to. Obviously, there might be something that comes up that, such as life. But that's part of it, is that it gives us a good commercial grounding that we know very clearly what we need to do. I think every business should have a BCP because this is life. Life changes all the time, as we've seen with COVID and the cyclones and whatever's happening in the world. We know we're in flux and we know we need to move. A BCP plan just gives you confidence with that. I think if we have external parties coming to look at our business, they want to see that. For example, insurance companies and things, when we discuss those what's happening in our business, we're always really clear that these are the processes that we have in place because we want to build confidence about our business, that our business is going to be lasting for another 30 years.
Can you give us 3 pieces of key advice for another business owner who's new to business continuity planning?
The first one is you have to have one. Just do it. I think the second one is make sure that everybody is communicated about it. So everybody knows what's in that plan. Our business, we don't do drills every week or anything like that, but we have a very clear structure of who's going to communicate to you and what you're going to hear. So we know that really well. We also have a really good checklist of the things that have to work to make our business work. So we know if there's certain parts of the business that aren't working, we can still do other bits. So that's in our BC plan. So do that. Understand your business well enough about what you can do and can't do when things are working or not working. I think there's some real power in that. Also, ensure that everybody can get a copy of it because sometimes you may not be the person that has access to it, or you may be overseas and something occurs. So make sure you have one. Make sure that people are communicated about it. They know what to do, that everybody has a copy and is aware of it. And secondly, do that testing of if the business isn't working in this way, can we still run the business in that way? So that will allow you to have some real calm and peace if those things occur.
How has the recent crisis impacted your overall business operations and strategic planning?
I think it gave us a bit of a fright, to be honest. I think we were that happy post-COVID business that was going, finally, we're feeling confidence here, even though there's a lot of talk in the market at the moment. We were just feeling really happy with where we were, and then bang, something happened. So I think it shook us a bit. But what it did do is remind us how important a BCP is, how important it is to be flexible, how important it is to know how your business can work. So I think that's allowed us to take another look at that and be really secure about it and reflect on, we need a generator. We need some of these things to keep us going. From a strategic point of view, I think we are just aware that our strategy potentially could shift. I think our strategic investment might have changed slightly because we want to make sure that our building is stable, that we, particularly in the Auckland environment, that we're aware that weather is changing throughout the world and New Zealand. So what does that mean for us? Do we need to do some more investment in training? Some of those questions have really come up for us. So I think from a strategic investment point of view, we are looking at things slightly differently. I think what it also did, which is very much a sidebar to this conversation, is that we need our earth to be around forever. So we're going to do much more of a focus on our sustainability as a business because we realise in this particular situation, the weather really impacted our business and we don't want that to happen, so we can do our bit.
Lastly, do you have any final thoughts or insights that you'd want to share for anyone else going through this process?
Look, I really think it's just about the people. Look after your people, number one. And then if you look after your people, your business will survive, no matter what happens to it. We were really lucky. We had to close a shop, but we didn't have too much external damage. We had a bit of leaking and a bit of things that we need to manage. But actually, I know absolutely to the heart and to the core, we looked after our people and they came to work. They wanted to be here. They wanted to make sure that our business was successful. So I think for us at Devonport Chocolates, people are absolutely number one. That's where your investment should go.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for sharing about how Devonport Chocolates has a business continuity plan, but one that you can move through the future and be available and respond to any situation you've got.
Fantastic, thank you.